Good morning, dear students. I am Sampat Bhadu, Assistant Professor of English, Government College, Sri Dungargad, Bikaner. Today we are going to take up second act of the play As You Like It, composed by William Shakespeare. Let's discuss scene first of Act 2. In this first scene of the second act, the action shifts to the forest of Arden, which has been one of the main centers of interest throughout the previous act. The banished Duke is seen talking to some of his faithful followers, comparing the delightful simplicity of their life to the gaudy chaos of the court. He says, the banished Duke speaks, "Now, my comrades and brothers in exile, hath not old custom made this life more sweet than that of painted pomp? Are not these woods more free from peril than the envious court? Here feel we but the penalty of Adam, the season's difference, as the icy fang and churlish chiding of the winter's wind." After a fairly long statement on the joys of forest life, the Duke concludes with the following famous lines: "Sweet are the uses of adversity, sweet are the uses of adversity." This is very famous line, dear students, of William Shakespeare, of As You Like It. Sweet are the uses of adversity. It is often quoted in journal writing. Sweet are the uses of adversity, which, like the toad, ugly and venomous, wears yet a precious jewel in his head, and this our life exempt from public haunt, finds tongues in trees, books in the running brooks, sermons in stones, and good in everything. Amiens and the rest of the Duke's followers agree with his description of the idyllic life. There is, however, a suggestion of a flaw in this Eden, for the men are forced to hunt the innocent and beautiful deer in order to have enough to eat. Here, the mention of the deer brings forth a discussion of the melancholy Jakes, who is most upset by the spectacle of the death of innocent creatures. The courtier describes Jake's behavior at some length to the Duke. He describes how Jake wept at the plight of the wounded deer, and how the situation caused him to philosophize at length on the cruelty and futility of human existence. The Duke listens at length to the description of human existence, then asks his courtier to lead him to the man. "I love to cope him in these sullen fits, for then he is full of matter." Dear students, here William Shakespeare puts forth his philosophy through melancholy Jakes, the philosophy of protection of natural life, or protection of the wildlife, especially the speechless creatures of this earth, that they should be protected. Here Shakespeare expresses the boundless greed of human beings for the gratification, for the satisfaction of their hunger. They kill the innocent and speechless creatures like deers. But melancholy Jakes is a very compassionate, sympathetic, and empathetic character in this play, As You Like It. Jakes expresses immense pain and grief over the killing or death of over the plight of the wounded deer. He is very pitiful towards the deer. On hearing this plight, on hearing the melancholy mood of Jakes, Duke asks the courtier to arrange a meeting with Jakes, simply because Duke was also a very sympathetic person. Now, scene 2 of Act 2. The second scene of this act is extremely brief but also extremely eventful. Eventful means full of events. It enables the audience to catch up with what has happened and to make some educated guesses about what is to follow. The scene shifts abruptly back to the Duke's palace here. Duke Frederick has discovered the disappearance of Celia and Rosalind and is distraught, is disappointed. He roars of conspiracy. His attendants try to fix the blame on someone. They tell him that Touchstone has disappeared with the girls and that Orlando, who had so charmed Rosalind, is another possible suspect. The Duke continues to rage and demands that Orlando be brought to him. He exhorts his men to let nothing stand between them and the success of their search for the two runaway girls. Here, Frederick is very much angry at the event that both girls, Celia and Rosalind, they have left this court and they have gone to the forest of Arden. And they were accompanied by Touchstone, the jester of court, and of course Orlando too. The Duke Frederick is very much enraged, he is very much angry, and he orders his courtiers that the two girls, Orlando, must be brought in front of him. The Duke feels humiliated, insulted. Now the scene 3 starts. The scene again shifts here. This time the scene shifts to the house of Oliver, Orlando's brother. Adam is utterly distraught. He has chanced to learn of the danger which threatens Orlando. He rails about the injustices of fortune. Why are you virtuous? Why do people love you? And wherefore are you gentle, strong and valiant? Why would you be so fond to overcome the bony pleasure of the humorous Duke? Your praise is come to swiftly home before you. Know you not, master, to some kind of men, their graces serve them but as enemies. This reception surprises Orlando. He has no idea of the cause of Adam's outburst. Adam is the faithful friend of Orlando. He is informed that Oliver has heard of Charles' defeat and intends to get rid of his objectionable younger brother once and for all, burning his house down with him in it. Orlando is amazed. Adam advises him to flee from the place immediately. Otherwise, he will be killed by his brother. Orlando says that he has no place to run to. There is no heaven where he would be safe from both his brother and the Duke, because both of them are enemies. The Duke Frederick and brother Oliver are the enemies of Orlando. Besides, Oliver has managed to keep him almost penniless. Penniless means moneyless, poor. Says that if he flees, he must turn beggar or brigand, and either alternative is abhorrent to him. Means, if he leave this house, he will be forced to begging. Adam is an appreciable loyal friend. Adam here acts with simple dignity and praiseworthy loyalty. He tells Orlando that he has saved up some money and will gladly contribute his funds if Orlando will only take with him. Says that though old he is still strong. Though I look old, who says? Here Adam speaks. Though I look old, yet I am strong and lusty. For in my youth I never did apply hot and rebellious liquors in my blood, nor did not wit unbashful forehead woo the means of weakness and debility. Therefore, my age is as a lusty winter, frosty but kindly. Dear students, through these lines, Adam expresses his bravery, his courage, and boldness. Adam's plea, appeal, and his offer are both pathetic. It is apparent that, however much he may protest the fact, he is indeed a very old man, hardly in condition to wander about the highways seeking a livelihood. But his loyalty overshadows his age, and for a servant in his position to offer his hard earned security, hard earned money against old age is an impressive sacrifice. Orlando responds to Adam's offer. He praises the old man for showing a generosity which is almost unheard of in these days, where none sweet but for promotion. Orlando and Adam decide to live together and, if required, to die together. What a loyal and praiseworthy company of both. Now, let's take up the scene fourth. The scene fourth again shifts to the forest of Arden. The audience finds itself watching Rosalind. Rosalind here is Ganymede. She is disguised as Ganymede, a boy, and Celia as Eleanor, means Rosalind's sister, Celia, as Eleanor. She is disguised, and Clown touched on. The three are exhausted from their unaccustomed exertions. They never had such type of long distance to walk. Rosalind says that she could even disgrace her masculine disguise with feminine tears, were it not for her desire to comfort Celia. They realize that they have finally found Arden, the place they sought, but there seems to be no heaven here. The shepherds here they meet the shepherds, Silvius and the old Corin. Silvius and Corin. As they talk, they are joined by two shepherds, Silvius and the old Corin. Silvius talks at length about Phoebe, his love. Silvius talks about his love, Phoebe. His emotion inspires Rosalind to speak of her own feelings for Orlando. Celia interrupts this exalted conversation with a plea for food and shelter. Corin expresses his pity for her. He, however, indicates that his master is little concerned with helping unworried travelers. However, when Rosalind offers money for their assistance, Corin decides that there is perhaps some hope of helping them. As it turns out, the master's cottage is deserted and up for sale. When Rosalind offers to buy the whole thing, hospitality seems possible for them. Now, let's take up scene 5 of Act 2. The scene is still in the forest. One here discovers Amiens and Jakes, with others of Arden inhabitants amusing themselves with song and conversation. One of Shakespeare's most famous songs, Under the Greenwood Tree, opens the scene. Jakes prays to Amiens to continue singing. Amiens is a singer, and Jakes is a very miserable, pitiable character, sympathetic character. He says that his song is nourishing his melancholy. When Amiens declines to do so, declines means rejects to do so, he becomes humorously abusive. He ends by contributing a verse of his own. His song is of considerably less lyric quality than that of Amiens. Now, scene 6th. This is a very short scene. In this scene, we find Orlando and Adam, like Rosalind and Celia, lost and exhausted in the forest. The forest seems inhospitable. Adam tells his master that he can go no further, but must simply die there. Orlando tries hopelessly to cheer him. Orlando vows to find food for the old man, even if he is for it to rest in it from someone else. Even if he has to struggle. So at the cost of his life, he would find out food for Adam. He promises. He bids Adam to be of good cheer while he goes to see what can be found. Now the last scene, 7th scene of Act 2. The scene opens with the Duke, Jakes, and some of their retinue preparing to dine. Jakes is amused by the clown he met in the forest. He insists that he too be invested with motley, and he privileged to express his own opinions under the guise of foolery to all he meets. His jesting is met with little enthusiasm from the Duke when he asks for leave. That's all for today, and have a nice day. Tomorrow we will discuss Act 3 of the play.